I'm Sarah Hagan with Career and Student Employment Services at Western Michigan University. And today we're going to be talking about virtual interviewing. But before we dive into that, I want you to jot down two things. First, our department website, wmich.edu/career. On our website, you'll find a lot of resources for resume writing, interviewing, and job searching. Also, our department email, which is wmu-handshake@wmich.edu. You can send your resume there for a resume critique or any other questions that you might have, and our staff will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. So now let's dive in. Today we're going to talk about some tips and tricks for virtual interviews, how to prepare for interviews, writing follow-ups and thank you notes, and I'm going to show you quickly the big interview software, which you can use to practice interviewing. So what is a virtual interview? Virtual interviews are conducted using platforms like Zoom, Skype, or WebEx. So you need to make sure that your microphone and your camera both work on your computer. Even though you're not physically in the same space as the person that's interviewing you, you want to make sure you're dressing like you're in person. So that full suit and tie, head to toe. Anytime you're dressed professionally, you behave, speak, and feel professional. And we want to make sure that you're really confident with your virtual interviews. You also want to consider your physical space considerations. So you want to be in a quiet room with a neutral background, like the wall behind me. You don't want any distractions or things that are cluttered behind you that'll take away from you. This needs to be a head and shoulders view straight on. You want to test your software ahead of time to make sure, again, that both your camera and your microphone work on your computer, because you don't want any glitches or things cutting out in the middle of your interview. We definitely recommend that you use your laptop on a steady surface rather than your phone to reduce any shaking or the camera falling down or anything like that. Make sure that you do your research ahead of time. Get on the company's website, Google them to see what comes up in the Google News results, and make sure that you know enough about that company, kind of who they are, what they do, before you get started. Prepare your list of questions ahead of time. If you have questions during the interview, or if you just want to take some notes, definitely feel free to jot that down as you go. But prepare a couple of questions ahead of time so you have something at the very end of the interview when they ask you if you have any questions for them. Good questions might be things like, how will I know that I'm successful in this job in the first 30 or 60 days? Or will you assign me a mentor when I get started? Anything that shows your interest in the position, and especially your interest at being successful in the role. We recommend that you practice your answer to the tell me about yourself question most, because that will definitely be the first question that you're asked. Tell me about yourself, walk me through your resume. The more you practice this, you're going to feel confident in that first response, so you can start strong and make a good first impression. And because you're not in the same physical space as your interviewer, you can have stuff on the desk around you, like the job description and your resume. Have things at your fingertips, and again, like I suggested, a notepad to jot down notes or questions as you go. After the interview, you definitely want to send a thank you. It can be a handwritten copy that you mail, but email is just as acceptable. You should make sure that that's sent within the first 24 to 48 hours. You want to re-emphasize your interest, remind them of something that you talked about specifically in the interview so that they'll remember you. And if you haven't heard anything, follow up after a week. After that, you don't want to be the nagging person that keeps calling or emailing, asking when they're going to hear about the job. Now, Big Interview, as you see the website down below, wmich.biginterview.com, when you first log in, it's going to look like this. So you can click on the Fast Track or the Mastery Track options, where you can explore different types of interviews, you can learn more about interviews, and do some practicing. Essentially, the way Big Interview works is there's a pre-recorded interviewer on one side of your screen, and then the live version of you answering the questions on the other side. You can record this and watch it back to do some self-critiquing, but if that's not really your thing, you'll see down there that there's written curriculum as well, which gives you some tips and tricks on how to answer general interview questions. You can do an interview, a practice interview by industry, a general interview that covers about 80% of the interview questions you might get, regardless of the type of job you're applying for, or by competency or skill set. So if you really want to practice all of your answers to communication-related questions or problem-solving related questions, you can use the competency or skill set option. Industries range from anything to education, aviation, engineering, anything in between. So if there's a specific job that you're applying for example, here we have under the education industry, college professor, K-12 teacher, or school administrator. It can get pretty specific based on the type of job you're applying for. So we encourage you to practice with those as well. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you can use our website, wmich.edu/career, for lots of resources. Email us at wmu-handshake@wmich.edu. And download our career development guide, which you can find at wmich.edu/career/guide. The guide has a lot of example resumes, some practice interview questions, a lot of great resources that you can download as a PDF there. Also follow us on our social media channels, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you have any questions or need anything, feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. Thanks, and have a great day.